Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Game Over Greggy show. Remember, every Friday we post the dollar only. I don't know. I gotta come up with a better cadence for this. The MP3 gets posted.
Yeah,
GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com for $1. It's the entire show for your amusement. Then, starting on Monday on YouTube, we post it topic by topic, day by day, video by video. Tim, you're on the hot seat. What's your topic today?
Cool. My topic is Sailor Moon.
Oh, God.
I know nothing about this.
So here's the thing. I have a feeling that you guys don't know much about this.
Tuxedo Mask.
There you go. Okay, we got something.
Do you want to?
I just want to know what you guys. What's your perspective on Sailor Moon?
I used to get Sailor Moon just incredibly confused with Gem.
Really?
Yeah, I always thought those were the same shows.
Wasn't it on afterwards?
I don't know, dude.
No.
I just saw him and I was like,
Gem was like
weird.
80s. Sailor Moon's 90s.
Oh, well, whatever.
But Gem is awesome, but not as awesome as Sailor Moon.
What is so awesome about Sailor Moon? I thought Sailor Moon was a show for girls.
No, see, Sailor Moon was essentially Power Rangers, but with girls.
Yeah,
like
so it was
just
a girl
all
show.
girls.
So naturally you watched it.
So no,
vehemently.
it was a girl show, but it also wasn't.
Can
right?
you explain the origins of the name and what it means?
Sailor Moon. So here's the thing. I am also very rusty on my Sailor Moon knowledge, and I'm sure I remember it more fondly.
She's the main one, right? Isn't it like Sailor Saturn and Sailor Mars? And
There's
all that?
there's like some crazy thing where one
thing.
day a little cat, Luna, goes up and finds this girl, and she's like, "You are the moon princess or whatever." And I'm getting this so wrong. I'm sorry, guys.
Should have been better prepared for the topic.
I read the Wikipedia today, but I was like, this didn't make sense then either.
Prediction: we don't post this as a standalone video.
But so then supposedly there's like this group of girls, and all of them are not descendants of, but like there's older moon warriors and like planetary warriors, and there's this crazy war that happened, and now these people are like kind of like reliving their lives, and they can turn into these magical
moons.
No, warriors based on the
sailors.
They come to port. They get surly.
Hey, let's get some beers. Why does your voice sound like that? Because I'm a sailor.
We're
all very tired
I always
today.
thought correct me if I'm wrong, the artist who did Sailor Moon also did the cartoon art for Lunar Silver Star Story.
That sounds right. They look the same.
Is that true or not?
Lunar, yeah.
Anyway,
damn,
continue.
got like moons.
I think Greg just agreed with that and had no idea what he was talking about?
No, I remember the Lunar game.
I might be wrong.
Christine was obsessed with
They
it.
look similar.
Christine also loves Sailor Moon. She is the only person I've ever met in my life who knows Sailor Moon and enjoys Sailor Moon.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a big show?
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah, it was
So
pretty
no,
big.
it was
It was
big,
big.
but it was definitely big in the sense of like, it wasn't Power Ranger big, but it was one of the
Power Rangers. That's going to endure for the years to come. We're going to make Power Rangers.
Yeah, I think that will live on in some corners of the world.
It came back already.
I mean, it never left.
Yeah, that's the
They
sad weird part.
just kept going.
So continuing on your
But
Sailor Moon.
But with Sailor Moon, it was the, I don't even want to say the female Power Rangers, because it's like it also worked for boys, and like all my friends liked it too.
Yeah, it worked for boys for a different reason. Now, again, I only know this from Christine's shirt, that at some point they change and they're naked, but
when
they
transform.
sparkle.
Yeah, they're
Whoa.
naked and sparkly.
Yeah.
But
not in a sexual way, but it's still empty.
In Power Rangers, that happened too in a lot of the
No.
things, like
No,
when they
not really.
transformed.
I
There
don't
was
remember
no
in Power Rangers then
Kimberly
turning
naked.
naked.
In Power
sparkly.
Rangers Zeo, which is the 4th season, so it's not even that far, their transformation would like go down, and it would be the same thing, but instead of cartoons, it'd be real life. They were naked, and it was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, but with Sailor Moon, like I liked it. It was good, and this Tuxedo Mask character that you're bringing up is just the ultimate badass, and he's the equivalent to the Green Ranger in Power Rangers, and he's just cool.
I'll tell you what Tuxedo Mask sounds like. Chairface Chippendale from a little show I like to call The Tick. Are you familiar with this show? This was my Sailor Moon.
The Tick is the Star Wars cartoon of our time.
The Tick will have lasting. It'll be around. No, it's not.
I think Dragon Ball is going to
sad.
be around for a while.
I mean, Dragon Ball ended in 1996.
Yep. That's so
And like it's still like, and they've made a few movies, but that show has been over for almost 20
People love
years.
it. When we did the anime episode, everyone was like, "How come not one of you mentioned Dragon Ball?"
Like Dragon Ball's huge. It's funny. Like after school, when I was in high school, they would syndicate them on Cartoon Network in the late 90s, and I used to go to my friends across the street every day, and we'd watch it like in order. And I could never. It was one of those things where I tried to force myself to get into it because I'm like, what am I missing here? It's the same thing with The Simpsons, which I think is fucking. By the way, I fucking hate The Simpsons. I think The Simpsons is
all of it.
yeah, all of it.
Did
I think
you grow up with it?
Huh?
Did you grow up watching it from like?
Well, I've seen. Yeah, well, I grew
Or
up.
did you go in like midway through?
I started watching it in like 1994.
Why do you hate The Simpsons?
Simpsons is awful.
That's crazy.
And like
that needs to be a topic next week.
So
That's a topic
I
right
wrote
now.
when I was a freelancer.
That can be your did you do a topic?
No, I didn't have a
All right, that
topic.
can be your topic.
When I was a freelancer in college for IGN before I became an editor, I was a freelancer for IGN TV, and we wrote this thing, and I wrote this scathing thing about how like unfunny The Simpsons was. Like I can't.
Oh, I remember this.
And I can't. And like it was this huge like thing where people were so mad at me because I was like, Family Guy is 1,000 times better than The
you're
Simpsons.
wrong. No.
And
compare now, yeah.
No, I haven't watched.
but like,
more
but
relevant,
so
newer.
but I was just making the example. I'm not trying to shit on The Simpsons. I'm just making the example that. Like at that same time when Dragon Ball Z was on, well, maybe a little bit before or whatever, when I was in middle school, I would go home and at 7 o'clock every day would watch The Simpsons for like a year, and be like, why does everyone like even like 12-year-old Colin? I was like, this show sucks. Like I don't understand like why everyone loves this show. I don't understand. Like I would try to almost. It was one of those things I was so insecure about it that I would like laugh and like try to enjoy it. I love the Simpsons arcade game, but like. It's just one of those things, and Dragon Ball was the same thing where I like tried to watch it and get into it. I'm like, these fights are annoying, and why is everyone fighting and yelling for 20 minutes at a time and powering, just like powering up.
That's cool.
You know, it's like so bizarre, and so it was one of those things that I was embarrassed as a child, like The Simpsons, that like I didn't get. Now, The Simpsons should have gone away 20 years ago.
People still watching it though.
But yeah, people are still like people.
If
are
we're
still
done with Sailor Moon, we'll move
No,
on to
well,
The Simpsons.
I wanna
And
bring
if
back
not,
Sailor
we
Moon.
finish this
I want to make the
first.
Sailor Moon conversation, but I think what I like about Simpsons is being older now and going back and watching those older episodes. Is
I just said if we're done with Sailor Moon, we're going to talk about Simpsons. And if not, we're going to keep going on Sailor Moon.
Well, I don't want to leave Tim hanging.
Wait, are you talking about Sailor Moon or The Simpsons?
I'm talking about like cartoons of the late 80s or
All right,
90s.
try it. Go ahead.
Well, my point is, what I like
Yeah,
about
short
Simpsons,
leash, Riley.
What I like about Simpsons is, as I get older and go back and watch the older episodes, I pick up on a lot of things I didn't when I was little, which I like.
Well, Simpsons is very clever, and for its time, I always thought it was very funny. But yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it was written by like Conan O'Brien, a bunch of awesome writers were on it, and it was.
Will you please shut the fuck up about The Simpsons unless we're switching the topic to The
I
Simpsons?
thought we were changing Tim's talking to the Simpsons.
Well, I wanted to mention Voltron.
I'm
going to
murder myself. Go ahead and
I was
mention
gonna say,
Voltron.
like, when I was growing up, I watched a lot of like kind of Japanese anime shows like Robotech, things like that. But I never watched Sailor Moon. But I thought Voltron was good.
Robotech is the bomb.
Voltron was good. I watched a lot of David the Gnome too. But
David the Gnome was
David the
awesome.
Gnome, yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
David the Gnome
That's
is just awesome.
Do you remember
Swift?
Tom Bosley?
No.
You remember the dad from Happy Days?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was Tom Bosley, and he had this show called
Tom
David the Gnome, where he was a gnome. They
Fun.
lived in the woods and stuff.
Remember Greg the Bunny?
And then they died in the final
liked
episode.
that
That's
show.
neither here nor there.
what was that?
Greg
what
the
was
Bunny was the show with Nikki Fox, right?
That was the Seth Green,
Yeah.
Eugene Levy, Bunny. Yeah, I think Nikki Coxon. I don't remember
Oh,
that.
Nikki
What
Cox.
was the Nickelodeon show that played for that 2-hour period where they played cartoons during the early 90s? What was that called? It was like Nicktoons or something?
Oh, Nicktoons, yeah.
Is that what it was called? I thought
Is that its own show? Or
No,
was
But
it
it had,
Nicktoons
like,
It was like
it had,
Doug and Rocco.
it had like
and,
the face talking to you. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, you talking
It
about
had,
Nick
like,
Jr.
It had like Eureka's Magic
Nick
Castle.
oh,
Jr.
Nick Jr. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Eureka's Magic Castle.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a good one.
Yep.
And
hated that shit.
Skidamarinky Dinky Dink.
Oh my
Get him a
God.
rink.
I don't remember that.
That was the elephant show?
Yeah, the elephant
I feel like you're just making things up.
How about
You were 40 when this happened. Sorry.
how about
Taxes.
today's special? Today's special. That was on Nick Jr. Right? Today's
Is
special.
that the one where they were like in the mall?
It's something.
They had
Some
like
live
some
action
weird shop. Yeah.
I just remember growing up, like I'd have preschool from 8 to noon or whatever, and I come home and just watch TV for like 5 hours straight.
Me too.
It was so good, man. You had like all those like Double Dare. What was the other show that?
Double Dare. What's
Finders
the-
Keepers, dude. That was the best. Finders
Like
Keepers
Guts,
was my favorite.
all that stuff.
Guts.
The
I have
aggro
Legends of the
crab.
Hidden Temple.
I haven't watched TV. Like, I haven't actually sat down and watched something that wasn't hockey in like years.
Do you guys remember Finders Keepers on
No.
Nickelodeon? It
I
was
remember the name, but I don't remember the show.
It was
I know I watched
it. Was it was on from 88 to 92. I know because I am obsessed with
Explain it
Finders
to
Keepers. And it was. Do you guys remember Nick Gas? That channel that was
Yeah.
randomly on. I used to be me and Ramon.
Yeah, it
used to
was-
be randomly.
Ramon.
We used to be in college.
Got
We're
it.
obsessed with that channel. We'd get drunk
Well,
and watch
it was
that
Guts,
channel.
Legends of the Hidden Temple, and there was another show on it,
Oh
right?
my God.
Yeah,
Legends of
Guts
the
and all that
Hidden
stuff. But
Temple.
Finders Keepers was on at 2 a.m. every day, and I used to stay up and watch it for like 2 years when I was in college. And it's
Explain the show. I don't remember the show.
So it's a show where like there's two teams. Larry Taffler, I think, was the guy who hosted it, and it would be like teams that were doing trivia, and then they'd run through a house, and like destroy the house and look for shit in the house.
Yeah.
Sounds
They made.
familiar.
I remember they made like a not board game, but they made a home version.
Yeah, so-
that was
yeah.
like a little dollhouse that
Yeah.
had shit you'd go and destroy.
And that was like, that show was the fucking bomb. And the reason it was so nostalgic for me, because I remember one of the prizes they gave away was Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. Konami cartridge. And so that was an excellent early.
I remember
generation.
also on the Nickelodeon shows they had one of the prizes was you got like the free 1 minute in a Toys R Us to get whatever.
Oh my god, you
wanted.
run with the shopping
And so
cart.
whenever I go to Toys R Us, I always try to like map it out. Like, okay, let's just
What
say
would I
this.
do?
was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
What would I grab? And like looking back, like, man, I wouldn't want to do that nowadays. I don't even want to walk into Toys R Us.
But that's crazy though. Like I know so many people. Me and my friends would talk for hours. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What's the strategy? How would we do this? Oh man,
Put-
I'd
put
go to
the
the
big ones on
Legos
the
and get the
bottom.
big ones,
Yeah.
sell them, and get more. It's like
I would always run to the video
Jeez.
games. Is what I always
Yeah,
thought.
get all
I'd
the
take
tickets.
all
All
the
the
games,
slips.
yeah, and then give away doubles to my friends and stuff, resell them.
Yeah, the tickets, and I would imagine myself going to the GI Joe aisle and just dumping everything. You
Raining
had
them on
5
your face.
minutes. It wasn't a minute. You had
I
five.
remember what it was. Yeah.
5 minutes. That's a lot of time. I
The
could have
sweepstakes,
cleaned that
right? The Toys R
fucking
Us
store out.
sweepstakes.
something like that. Yeah. Oh, so good.
There's gotta be videos on YouTube about some of these.
Oh, there's
things.
millions.
There's gotta be.
Scott Bromley has a whole show on Rev 3 about the internet rabbit hole that starts with most of the Nickelodeon shows.
Yeah, they're so good. And there was Figure It Out, which was a game show, and they would always give away an N64 with Yoshi's Story. Like every episode was that, and I'm like, I feel like people have it by now, guys. And it always pissed me off.
I don't know. I just, you know, not to reminisce about like all this stuff, but I just like I don't watch TV anymore, and I don't know how kids growing up nowadays are had it. Like, I thought we had it the best. I thought that generation was the best ever to be a kid.
Oh no,
This
this,
is
is the
like-
best time on the planet to be
Really?
a child.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, and this could be a whole other topic, but I feel like people always say that like, oh man, it was so much better than it is now. I don't agree with that whatsoever.
Well, what's so better?
And
What-
now you
Right
can-
now?
Yeah.
All the
Right.
dumb shit you did is like I always talk about this in the show. Like imagine if YouTube existed when me and my friends were backyard wrestling. Like how much further my video editing skills would be and everything else. Like, but you'd be doing it for your own fun.
You'd won an Academy Award by now.
But
I would have.
but there's a
I'd be
big-
Freddie Wong.
But there's a big caveat here. I do think that authentically, our childhood was the last truly innocent stage in American history.
Like I feel like
kids.
if I ever have a kid, like I don't even know what to do because you protect this child from
Take him to
basically
McDonald's.
anywhere. You have access to any information you want at all times.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
And
it's
that's scary.
I think it's not only scary. I think it's kind of stupid and boring. Like it's listen to me. Like it's like
No.
like the information, like having information at our fingertips is awesome. The internet is essential. We work on it. We make our money on it. I would never be able to want to do without it. But it removes the mystique of being a kid, of going to the recess and exchanging cartridges of NES cartridges and tips and tricks of how to beat a game, or like not knowing the answer to something. And like, you know, like I think back to those days very fondly because those days don't exist anymore. Now, like now kids have like have phones and all these kind, like it's just
The day of like finding a porn mag and like secretly hiding someplace.
Right.
Like, that's just gone.
That was a
now.
simple-
But I think
moment in every
just
boy's
different,
life.
though. Like now it's kids playing Minecraft and just talking to each other instead of being on the recess playground like Tom and stuff. They're playing over Minecraft. You know?
yeah. But Jim brings up a good point, which I think is funny too. Like porn, right? Like when you're a kid and like you discover porn for the first time. Well, for us, it was a magazine at my friend's house. We talked about this. He had like his dad had like all the Playboys for like fucking 30 years, you know, and like that was a big deal, you know. It was like holy shit. You like felt like, and now it's just like boobs,
But,
you know.
but
and
I
like
feel
you
like
find
that's
like
a big
picture
deal
of
too, though.
yeah, like I don't know. I don't think that's a big deal. Like
I know when I was little,
You put a lot of O's in it.
I was like, how many times are you gonna type that?
I don't spell good.
we had a few Playboys that we actually put in a garbage bag and put in the sewer down the street.
Jesus.
That you could like lift up the top of it.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
go down there and we get them.
Forever he equated women with the smell
Sewers,
of sewage.
yeah.
So this is a really random question, but these playing cards with naked women on them,
Sure.
do those ring any bells to
No.
you guys?
I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I
I've seen
know you
those,
got one,
sure.
yeah.
Because like I
novelty
feel
items.
like that to me, I know so many people their first experience with naked women was those playing cards.
Oh,
Did
really?
you remember the pen?
Because they'd just be left on the ground. Like I swear to God, there was some guy that was like trying to teach
What is that?
It's the ice popping.
lessons
Crazy.
to like all these young kids, and he would just drop the playing cards all over my neighborhood.
Teach lessons.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'd be at like playgrounds and stuff, and I'd see these cards. I'm like,
They do that a
why are
lot
they
in
everywhere?
Vegas. You know, when you walk down the streets of Vegas, they're like,
Oh right.
and they try to hand it to you. The cards is just naked women on it. I remember do you remember the pen where you turn
Oh,
the pen
yeah.
Oh
upside
yeah,
down
yeah.
and
And
the
her
clothes
bikini
go
falls
down?
off.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I remember like, oh my! I the first time I saw that when I was a kid, I was like, "That's funny," and then someone left the room, and I just like it was like 30 minutes of just like, you know
So
what I mean?
my
I'm like,
first,
no, that's bad. I'm gonna go shadow box.
my first internet porn.
Shadow
So
box this
growing
out.
up, we had I don't know if you remember Web TV. It was a box you
Oh my God,
install,
yes.
and you could read the internet on your television. and it was like a 28.8 modem. And my friend sent me some like totally fake images of Courtney Cox naked. But at the time I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, those are great, right?" And it would come scrolling down very slowly.
Yeah.
And like in my family room, we had like a TV set up, like we would use like as kids, and then my parents had like their TV set up like around the corner.
Yeah.
So like if my mom was over there, I'd be like keeping an eye on what's coming down the screen.
Yeah.
Good times, man. It's good times.
See, now the kids have a fast cable modem internet, and they load their porn and can get rid of it like that.
I mean, I see kids at like airports that are like probably 10 years old and have phones, and it's just like I don't even know what I would do as a parent to like monitor that. I don't know.
Better figure it out.